Thank you, Roger. Okay, we're ready.
Hey guys, if you don't know me yet, my name is Julia Rose. I am your host for this evening for Pace, and we're going to go straight to it with our product that we're going to go over today, which is artistry. Take it away, Trevor.
All right, so minimize that up there.
Not too much stuff.
Now, you right? You got it? Got it? And minimize it up. And then, yeah, you got it.
The artistry brand began in the 1950s by an entrepreneurial husband and wife team who brought together science, nutrition, and art to inspire revolutionary beauty breakthroughs. Today, artistry is moving forward with specialized skincare lines, plus on-trend cosmetics to meet the diverse needs of women around the world. In fact, artistry is healthy skin. To ensure the highest quality products and advanced results, artistry is guided by 3 unique principles. We discover the most efficacious ingredients from around the globe, including rare gardenia grandiflora stem cell extracts that help resynchronize skin's youthful biorhythms, and acerola cherry, one of the most powerful antioxidants from Nutrilite certified organic farms. We imagine what's next in global beauty, partnering with our scientific advisory board, comprised of esteemed doctors and dermatologists and international experts in skin and health research. We partner with trend forecasters and makeup artists in the world's fashion capitals to create makeup and colors that are fun and easy to use, from pre-coordinated eyeshadows to light-up lip glosses. We invent cutting-edge technologies supported by over 900 scientists plus independent clinical testing. With over 200 patents granted, each artistry skincare line is powered by its own exclusive technologies to deliver specific skincare benefits. We back each purchase with our 100% customer satisfaction guarantee and recognition as one of the top-selling premium skincare brands. More than ever, artistry continues to move beauty forward, so every woman can become her own individual work of art.
Minimize it. Close it. Stop sharing. Yes, you got it. And click on it. All right.
That was fantastic. I personally love artistry. A lot of people, including the person that gives me my wax and my eyebrows and stuff, she noticed that my face has changed. And she's like, wow, your face is so evenly toned. What are you using? And I'm like, artistry. And this is the perfect time now to come up if you have any customer experience with the artistry products. Anyone in Tallahassee want to start?
I would say something.
Yes, yeah, I got you.
Oh.
Go ahead, take us off.
Hi everybody, it's Cheryl. I wanted to say something about the artistry, but I didn't wear it today because it's so hot. But the eyelashes, my eyelashes look really, really darker with our the new New York extended mascara. Oh my God, it made my eyelashes look so much darker. And also the new colors, but like I said, we was running late, so I didn't put the colors on. But Anya showed me how to wear it. So every time I come here, I flash her because I did a good job. I'm asking her to do a good job, but I didn't wear it today. But when people see you with your own makeup on, I spoke to a lady at Target. There's like 3 different rows of like the nail polish and the makeup and the glosses. Everything is on different items, like the front and in the back and in the middle. So you can always talk to women in between aisles. And I asked the lady, like, did you know I mean, how long you been wearing? I think it was J-Lo's products, and she said she's been wearing it for like 6 years. And I said, I actually used something that Sanjeev said in the training, which she said, did you get paid for using what you put on your eyes? And kind of looked at me funny, and she was like, what? So we got to talking, made conversation. I didn't get the number, but it was a good conversation. Talking about just how you wear your makeup, how long you've been wearing it. I asked her also, like, did it have different colors? Did the mascara actually does it extend to make your lashes longer? I mean, I did my spiel, but she didn't catch it, so I walked on. I walked on, but it was a nice conversation. It's easy when they're already in an aisle of products that we sell, because it keeps it flowing. So I felt good, but kept walking. That's all I want to say.
Okay. You guys know I use artistry.
Yes.
Well, no, Andrea does a lot of artistry sales. And so every month before our data triggers, we review and make sure that it is what we want. And every time she's telling me, put in all of these systems. And I'm like, who's this for? She's like, oh, it's for this customer, that customer. And so she does a lot of Girl Scout, she's a Girl Scout director, and she works with a lot of ladies. And so she's always having these, like almost every month, there's a new artistry system that's being sold. And I don't enter the customer volume. She does. And I'm seeing it at 60 and 70 and 50 and all of that stuff. But you guys know how Andrea is. She will get it done, but she's not going to report the details to you. So I can tell you from the back end that it's happening.
Yeah.
So, and anybody else here? Okay.
Anyone else that's outside of Florida and Georgia? All right, we're going to move along. Our next person that's coming up is going to talk about our streaming core this week, and that will be Roderick.
Awesome.
Hey guys, how y'all doing today?
Good.
Awesome. Yes, Roderick here. I'm definitely proud, of course, to talk about streaming because it's actually one of my most favorite tools in the business. And the reason why is because it pumps me up every day, to just go out there and just do great things. So for the new ideas or those who don't really clear about streaming it's pretty much an audio, all right, of a talk of one of our diamonds. It can be emerald, diamond, double diamond, above. Pretty much people that succeed in this business that gives us personal training within that specific field, or it can even be general about mindset. So it's many different topics that come out. A new stream comes out every week. And the stream of this week is actually by Trevor and Lexi Baker. And that is a rock solid powerhouse right there. I love that stream so much because he pretty much talks facts. And what the reason why I like Trevor Baker so much is because he speaks truth. When I say speaks truth, I mean like everything you're going through, he's already been there. He's been through it. Of course, it took them a while to become a diamond, but look at that organization. Look at the process. What that process brought them through. And actually in the stream, he actually talks about that process and why he actually said that 10 years ago, if he was a diamond 10 years ago, it wouldn't have been worth it it would not have been worth it if he wasn't a diamond up to this day to now. Let me actually play the script so you can understand what I'm saying. It's kind of
I know it took you a little bit longer, but how did you stay focused? Guys, I gotta be honest with you now, looking back now, if we would have been handed a diamond ship 10 years ago, it would have been ugly. We would not have been prepared to lead the caliber of the organization that we now have today. I'm grateful for all those experiences. But guys, you will be as well. I think when people come into this opportunity and they begin to try to move their lives forward from one plane of living to another plane of living. Because when you want to make a lateral move, there is zero resistance. Because you're not moving from one level of living to a higher level of living, guys. When you want to go from one level of living to a greater level of living, Ladies and gentlemen, you are going to go through a cycle. Guys, this is not a hard business. It's simple. It is so simple. This is a big mental battle. It's mental warfare, ladies and gentlemen. It's the winner you versus the loser you on a daily basis, and I'll talk about that tomorrow. But the truth is, that's truly what the battle is here. It's the winner you versus the loser you, and the problem is, most of us never taught how to be winners. So we have victims. This is happening to me. You have no idea what I'm going through. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, there is going to be a cycle that every person who will succeed in life, let alone this opportunity, for sure everybody over here has gone through an emotional cycle of change, ladies and gentlemen. We come into this opportunity with an uninformed optimism. It's not that you were uninformed, it's just that you were not listening.
I'll stop it right there. You see what I'm talking about with the truth. He helps you. I need to let you know. Say, hey, this is what it is. So just by hearing that, I can tell this is a fired up stream, right?
Yes, sir.
Fired up. So I would say get it as soon as you can. And of course, listen to stream every day. Part of honoring the partnership is pretty much listening to streaming. So this should be number one priority. However, it's early in the morning, while you're taking a shower, everyone has busy days, or I don't know how your day goes, but you always need to find time to stream. If it's on your way to work, if it's on your way from work, it's before you go to bed, or if you just pretty much set up a time to listen to a stream, in your day. Do whatever it takes. No excuses. You don't, when you wake up in the morning to go to work, I'm sure between that time, you brush your teeth. You find time to brush your teeth, right?
True that.
You find the time to take a shower before you go to work, right? So make it a priority. No matter what you go to, make sure you get a stream in every single day. No excuses. So with that, I'll turn it back over to
Wow.
Some facts today. The next person that's coming up will be Carol. She's going to talk about the book.
Awesome.
Hello again. Doing the book of the month. I think this was last month. Hold on.
Hold on, somebody messed it
I
up.
think that's what this card is. This is like a extend.
Hello, can you guys hear us?
Yeah.
Sorry, we had a disconnect.
You ready, me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go next? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do Relationomics by Dr. Randy Moss. Awesome. And then it says Business Powered by Relationships. And it's a BWW book. This is one of our book of the months, like I was saying before. Get with your new people, get with your uplines to make sure you get on the book of the month. Books saved my life. Keeps you focused, keeps the mess that's coming at you all over the place. This keeps you focused. So reading, I do like 3 books at a time. I'm just gonna talk about this one. Trying to focus on one at a time. Plus they have, in this particular one, it's got lessons at the end of each chapter. So I'm keeping up, I'm doing a separate, like I'm making my own workbook to answer all the questions so I can show my uplines that I'm reading and paying attention and studying. But I want to read a little bit on the side of chapter 5. It says nobody is normal, and I'm on page 86. I'll be done with this book probably in the next 3 days, but I'm on page 86 and 87 right now. And I'm just gonna read just like the bold part on the side, because I don't want to mess it up. If you're reading it, I don't want to mess up, the reading part. So it says empathy is the degrees to which we are able to connect emotionally with others without, I think it says, condescending and judgment. I mean, you don't know what people are going through. Don't judge people. That was the old Carol a long time ago. It was like, if you got on my nerves, I just got out of your way. But now, I have more feelings for people, where just being nice, being kind. This business changed your mindset and how you think. And also, you know, you think you're having a bad day, somebody else could be having a very worst day. Like I said hi to this lady in church today, and she just burst out crying. I was like, "Are you okay?" I mean, you never know. She was going to they have this wall in the church. It's called the prayer wall. I walked up to the prayer wall with her and helped her write out her prayer. And you hang it on the wall, and somebody will get the paper and they'll pray for you. You don't know who's gonna pick it up, but it's just something to get all that off her chest to put it on the wall. I mean, she just bust out crying. We talked about an hour after church, but she's okay. But she's going through a lot. You know, when I got to church, I was feeling kind of crazy because I got up so early and I didn't get, you know, I didn't sleep too good. But you don't never know what people going through. Just be kind to everybody. That's all I want to say. And then I want to read one more in this book. It says, when clear, constructive development feedback is offered in an atmosphere of grace, significant growth can happen. You know, I feel myself growing and changing because if I had said hi to that lady a long time ago and she bust out crying, I'd be like, girl, I ain't do nothing to you. But I didn't do that. I actually went up to her and I gave her a hug and I asked her, you know, what can I do to help you? And then we walked to the prayer wall. That's what I was trying to, you know, bring up what I was trying to say. I just wanted to give you an example. That's it.
What have you
You know,
done?
when you're growing, when the little things that used to irritate you doesn't irritate you anymore.
That's all I really would say.
Right. I was really proud of myself. I didn't say that. I didn't scream. I was like, I didn't do that to you. No. Awesome.
That was great / hilarious because that is so relatable. What's funny, my sister did the same thing to our sermon's wife one day, and she was like, "Oh, hey, how's so and so doing?" It was like I wanted to pull the Homer meme. If you know what the Homer meme from The Simpsons, he will like back into the bushes like. So Sarah was quite correct when it comes to everyone is going through some things, so you have to be respectful and just try to be happy towards everyone. I'm personally working on that. Everyone gets on me on not being nice, and I feel like when I am being nice, it's obviously not coming across as that. So great, that's a great thing about the business. I'm way better than what I used to be because I was very, very rough. Straight shooter, and then all of a sudden, no one wants a straight shooter.
Wonderful.
So the next thing we're going to go over is the BP1 and follow-up 2. Does anyone want to go over that?
Process huddle. It's a huddle now. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Right, you ready? Oh, no. Sure, if you want to go, sure. Yeah, you can do it.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
just like you be doing me. Come on, Aaron. Is Aaron there? Pull the Kenneth. Is Aaron there? I think he is.
All right. He's coming up.
He got this. He's going to blow our mind, guys.
Awesome. All right.
Here's Aaron.
Okay. Awesome.
Hello, hey to the team, hey to Cash and Nadia, everybody in their respectable places. Like everybody knows, my name is Aaron Thompson. Well, it's just Shakayla Aaron Thompson International. But the BP1 and the follow-up one, what I love about the BP1 is that gives a chance for the people that you got going through the process that qualifies for BP1 to meet your mentors. Mm-hmm. You know, you edify them, of course, as you go as you take them through the process. But it's time the BP1 gives it respect into meeting them, being a physical target, you know, rather than thinking that, oh, it's a man behind a curtain type thing. No, come and get it from a horse's mouth. Come and see my mentors. Come and look at the product that I am, you know, as I present myself, you know, because we love duplication. This is not about duplication.
So that's another, and it's also the first time they actually know what we do and who we are. You know, that's very important. I feel like that's definitely the turning point. If do a person really care if they're outcome focused or process focused, that really lets you know right then and there, because it depends on how they take the BP, the board plan. The follow-up one, I love that in general. I love the follow-up one in general because that's where we get the answers, answer any question that might have not been clear and kind of clarify things from that point on. But also at the same time, it's where you find out if they really was paying attention to what was going on. Because one of the questions that we actually asked, do you know the difference between Amway Global and BWW, the Common Education System, versus the Common Supplier?
Yeah.
You know, that's one main factor that has to be understood and has to be clear. Because a lot of people, one thing that I've noticed, if that's not clear, people will accidentally make a mistake. They say, oh, so we work for Amway Global. No, we do not work for Amway Global. Not at all. If it wasn't for us, Amway Global probably wouldn't even be in business, you know? So that's where, that's what I love about a follow-up one, of course. Just to clear up anything so we can all be on the same track, because you want to be completely transparent with anybody that you take through the process, because that's going to dictate the outcome of that process and build that great leader. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Get on your box set.
Want to go over BP1 or follow-up one?
Yeah, I get it, right? Yeah, we good. I think you
Okay. Well, I can go over my experience since I had to do that the first time in front of people that I wasn't too sure about. It was very nerve-wracking, and believe it or not, I definitely went over it like 3-4 times with Celie and Roderick and Aaron, and I did it with the team the very first time. I was low-key upset. But I had to tighten up, like Celie would say, and get it together. The best part about it is when I finally did it and like throughout the whole presentation, I was like, I got this.
Love yourself.
That moment where, like, when Trevor was saying that the paper thin wall aspect, I was like, finally, this one wall. Now I can move on to the next level.
Absolutely.
So it was great to go over that, and I'm looking forward to just knowing MG1, MG2, the whole process like the back of my hand. So that way I'm not leveraging off of people. I can just go off of my own time.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Awesome. What if anybody in Atlanta?
Anyone in Atlanta want to chime in?
I mean, we'll talk when we were talking because we had a lot going on. So I don't know, anybody here have anything to No, we didn't explain it.
You want to say something? I mean, I think.
You'll get a chance to speak.
Have you done an MG1? You know what an MG1 is? Not one of the
Okay, anybody else in Tallahassee?
Nope, you got it, Kenneth.
Jonathan, Rod? Don't be bashful. Okay, all right. So everybody knows that P1 can be done either online or face-to-face or at the open meeting or information session. Obviously, the information session is the more effective one. And the reason for that is because you want the candidate to meet your mentors. This is the first time. What I tell people is that I'm the tip of the spear, so you're only seeing me. And what I need you to do is to meet the rest of the team, other candidates who are going through it, and also to meet my mentors and some other leaders in the business. Okay, and so I start to say that from when I first meet them. Okay, so it's the contact, it's during the MG1 and MG2. The whole thing is to get them to meet your mentors and the team. And that's not just to get people to the meeting or to say, oh, look at me, how great I am. It's just the honest truth. You want them to meet the leadership team. And so and so when they come to the BP, at the hotel, the information session, that is where they get to meet the team. And then the follow-up is where you take their take-ins, their findings from that. And that's where I say, what questions, concerns do you have? And so, but when you do a one-on-one, at the one-on-one, what I do, okay, these are my findings, this is my experience. Okay, what I do is if they can't make it to the hotel, I'm like, okay, because I'm not gonna wait 2 weeks because we have it every 2 weeks. So there are times when it's out of sync. Okay, so at that time when I do a one-on-one, I tell them, okay, so I go through the process again, BP2, that's when you definitely have to come and meet them because they are the ones who are going to determine whether or not you join the team. Okay, once you get the and this is all truth, it's not a hype thing. Okay, so so if they can't make it to BP1, they gotta make it to BP2. Okay, and if they make it to BP1, I can do the BP2 with them. But when I do it one-on-one, the BP2 or the BP1, it's a little more interactive and less presentation-like because it's just me and them. And I ask deep questions. Okay, so my experience has been that's very effective. And at the follow-up one, I want to make sure I understand what their calendars are looking like. And if it's not conducive with them being able to do the daily habits and to also attend just the 2 meetings, because that's all we have, 2 meetings a week. The third one is a one-on-one, okay? If they can't do that or unwilling to do that, I will tell them we need to, we don't disqualify people. What we say is, maybe we need to slow this down a little bit before we go any further. I don't want to set you up for failure. Okay, but you need to be able to commit to these things. I like to use a lot of analogies. If you were going to school and you were going for and you have 5 classes, and you didn't do any of the homework, you didn't attend any of the classes, you didn't listen to what the teacher said, do you think you're going to graduate? And the answer is no. It says, okay, well, this is just like that. If you don't have the ability to come to the meetings and to learn and to take something and apply, and you're not willing to do the studying, which is the reading and the listening, okay, and then the homework is actually the conversations. If you're not willing to do all of these things, what makes you think you're going to graduate in this class? And so that's some of the verbiage that we use, and it's very effective.
Awesome.
Back to the host.
Okay. Thank you so much for that.
Awesome sauce, like always, from Kenneth. He's always preaching too.
Yes.
In a good way.
Yes.
Is there any new people that would like to introduce themselves today?
How many more people?
Yeah.
Now we are going to go towards our function promo video, which is trained.
Alrighty.
Can you block this top over? Okay.
Can't wait.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
Did you share the screen?
Yeah, he will soon. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, why is it
Just,
so big?
it is. Let's scroll down a bit. All right, check screen. Here you got it. That one, you got it. And then let's press play. Got it. Yeah. Woo, woo.
Can't wait, boy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry, you right with stuff. Yeah, you're right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If you don't know by now, you should go ahead and get your ticket before it's 180. I'm not sure if they already turned 180 earlier because I already bought mine at 160. And I got the rooms. Good luck to the rest.
I love that.
So coming up is our platinum wrap up, and please welcome the amazing Kanta and Nadia Pase.
On my good side. Yeah, that's the good side. You good? All right.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right. What do I say? There's so much to say, actually. We're just going to keep this very brief, but BP1, I know Kampa's going to talk about that because he's been doing a lot of BP1s, just like Kenneth says. Our open meeting here is every 2 weeks, and so in between those 2 weeks, what do? You know, and so Kampa has been doing. He's going to talk more about what he does in terms of the plan, and then we get them to the second, which is the BP2. We get them to the board plan. But like Kenneth said, you have to have them at least get to meet the team before they can move on to the next step in the process. Because if they're not willing to or unable to, or for whatever reason, they really will have a hard time building this business. Because just like Trevor was talking about, if you just don't tell people what it takes up front, then you'll forever have to deal with the excuses, right? And so that is so important to be able to let people know whatever, you know. And I love what Roderick says, you know, with Trevor Baker. He is so real, you know, like when he was talking about that Disney World, Compton and I were cracking up because we go there every year. And those has been exactly our experience, you know, when you're like close up to the thing, somebody's got to go pee, and, you know, it's just crazy because that has been exactly our experience going there. So we just found that really funny. But the analogy was so strong because, you know, as you're building this business, you know, micro every little thing that we do. Oh, we did 4 plans this week. We didn't get any results. You know, nobody, you know, I made this many conversations. I didn't get a number. You know what? That's not even, you're like, you know, you're looking down on every little bit of it, right? But when you look at the overall picture, you know, in a month, you probably would sponsor, if you're out there every single day doing what you need to do, you will sponsor one that month, you know, because the numbers work, you know. So don't, you know, try to judge your day-to-day activity based on what's happening, you know, and your emotions going up and down. And I think that's one of the things that you get more so than anything else that I got from his streaming was the mindset of a business owner. And like he says, you know, if you're going every day, all day, not getting anything, then welcome to entrepreneurship, because that's how it is. It's not going to be easy. You know, it's not going to be a cakewalk through $250,000 of income, you know. You're going to have to get out there and do what it takes. But compared to everything else that you have to do to make that kind of money, it is a piece of cake, you know. So just keep that in mind. But, you know, the follow-up one, basically that's where we talk about the habits. And at that point, you know, you want to make sure that you're very clear, because you got Kumar's, the email that we sent out, right? And so based on those questions that are being asked there, I hope at your follow-up 1 and follow-up 2 that you're going over some of those things, meaning not the question, but the information, so that they could answer those questions properly, you know, and so they can understand what it is that they're doing and what they're a part of. But it has been incredible. Kanto was out, and I'm going to talk about my experience. He was out showing and doing MG1 this week. We were at a Dunkin' Donuts. There was one girl there, and I said, I'm going to come to buy. So I walked up, you know, and I just started talking to her and had the most pleasant conversation. Turns out she is a business owner as well. She does Opal, Ethiopian family. And so she, you know, we just had the nicest conversation and booked the MG1 right there. Met with her on Friday. Sat down with her and of course went over some of the questions. And again, you know, not being anxious to give the book, but more so to be able to know whether or not this is the right candidate that I'm working with. So we started talking, and turns out she had an experience that, you know, someone was, you know, took her to the meeting and tried to sign her up there that night. And, you know, it was all this horrible stuff. So I was like, oh, wow. I said, well, it doesn't sound like the way that we do business, because here's the thing, you know, if this is not something for you, you can walk away right now, and we don't have, you know, worst case scenario, we'll be friends, you know? And she started laughing. And I just made her feel more comfortable by just, you know, letting her know, hey, I'm not here to give you a book. I'm here to see your mindset. I'm here to talk to you and find out more if what we're doing could be something that will be a fit for you. And if that's not the case, then, you know, that's okay, you know. And turns out she says, yes, I won the book. And she said, you know, we scheduled for next Friday to meet. She said, well, if I finish the book before, can we meet before? And I said, sure, you know, just let me know. If I have time in my schedule, we will meet. So, you know, it's all about the posture and not being in such a hurry to just, you know, give the material, give the book. It's more or less finding the right people. But here's my awesome husband.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone from the host, the audiovisual, the board, yeah, oh, first time hosting, wonderful, Julia Rose, first time hosting. Yep, congratulations, you did a wonderful job. As usual, Roderick on streaming. That's what, and in fact, like I mentioned to you guys before, in fact, both of the streams that Trevor and Lexi put out, I want you all to listen to it every day for the next 30 days. As we have been doing. Yeah. And as my upline is doing also. Sanjeev said he's listened to it 10 times already. You know, like you said, Roderick, what he speaks is reality. You know, like the analogy they use about Disney. You know, think about him, he had 2 kids too. You know, I have 3 daughters. So by the time I have to go back 3 times. The people want to kill me 3 times. That's right. And then after I finish with the kids and get back now, to say she's got to go. And so, but that's real. I mean, and then I remember those days, because as soon as we got out of that one, they normally walk slow. I was like, all right, catch me up at the next ride. I run down to the next ride, put in the fast pass, you know, whatever, to get, you know. But the best way to go to Disney though is the way Amway take you. You know, we get there, they normally shut down one part of the park for us, and it's just Amway distributors. All the food is free, all the concession stands is free, all the rides is free. 2020 is the next time you're gonna have that available. Make sure you qualify for that. In fact, I remember we went on the ET ride, and it was just us, right? And there was no one else. It was in the night, and you know, ET, might start to play tricks with you. I think we saw ET at the side of the ride. As soon as we came up to the ride, we were out there. But there's no lies, you know. Yeah, it is the best way to go to Disney, you know. And you know, this Trevor Baker and Lexi are streaming, the last 2 streaming. It's reality. It's things that they have done. Anyone can do it. Right, my mentor, Sanjeev, he's out there leading from in front. He's making it happen. He already launched 2 personally this month. And then listen to this. You know, when you are out there, through the law of attraction, things happen. There was a young lady that had signed up in the business 16 years ago. Sanjeev did the board plan, and for some reasons, whatever, she weren't able to continue business at that time. not about a week ago. She went online, she looked for Sanjeev name, found him, and re-registered on the Sanjeev.
Oh, wow.
16 years after.
Wow.
So Sanjeev launched 3 today, this month already. He called me just now before Kenneth walked in. We were on the phone. He's all fired up and excited, and which is what we whenever Sanjeev tells us do something, we do that. Naja and I, in fact, I want to tell you about Anya. My whole family is on board here with this Travel Baker Lexington because every time we go into our vehicle, that's what we listen to, you know, because we in our car most of the time. Anya, in her class, there's somebody she saw reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. Well, Anya boldly went up to him and said, you know, she talked to him about a book and a little bit and said, I think you need to talk to my dad. You know, he has his own business and he mentors people and all that. And she actually set up the appointment and everything right here, right? And then she texted me, and then I text him as, so he texted me and said, Mr. Prasad, you know, Anya told me that I should meet you and so on, right? Is this location good for you? You know, he wants to, you know. I said, great. I said, you know what, Anya insists that I meet you, right? And I said, when Anya insists that I do something, I'm doing it. So I will definitely be there. And I keep all my appointments. He was there early. He's a sharp, young Hispanic guy. And he said, listen, you know, I don't want to sound vain, you know, but I like money. And you know, when I'm doing something, I do it great. You know, I'm gonna make you a lot of money. I like, you know, but before he did that, he was like, I asked him a question. Why did you want to meet with me today? Right. And then he was like, you know, I was thinking about that whole day. And I like, oh, Jesus Christ, is he going to tell me like my daughter Andrea? That's one of the scariest moments. But I tell you, this business is awesome. I have fun with it. You know, and, yeah. No, he's excited. Yeah, he's very excited. You know, and in the BP one, like Kenneth said, because we have the meetings twice a month, you may have to do that BP one out of in sync with the hotel meeting, and you do a full plan. You know, that's what we do. We show them the numbers and everything, and you know, and then the next meeting, the BP2, that's when you can get them to meet the local team and so on out there. You know. But I know in Tallahassee you have the meetings every week, so your BP, yeah, your absolutely utilize it to the best, and so your BP1 could be the very constant hotel, but the board plan in the university there. You know, make the function is coming up. Make sure you put in your best effort to get for somebody there. You know, and like Sanjeev said, your goal should be basically personally to sponsor 2 per month and working with your group at least 2 in depth, and to qualify for Camargo Diamond as Eagle Plus. You know, I mean, it's incredible what this couple have done in a very short couple of years, that they can move from Ruby to Triple Diamond, you know, Founders, Double Diamond, buying their own plane, buying a $1 million home. Retired a mother, bought a new vehicle for her. This is the answer to everything for us, right? And if we're not doing it, it's like he said, you're not listening. You know? All right? I mean, everything you need to know is right on those 2 streaming as far as I'm concerned, because the process itself is just steps that we go through. But that feeling that you get in terms of what you need in order to move you on, like what he said, emotional, what you were talking about earlier today. The
emotional warfare from the winner you to the loser you.
Oh, yeah, well, okay, that's yeah. So every morning, that's one of the things that I spoke about it before. That's what we do, right? Every time. In fact, Novena did that too. We said who's waking up this morning? Who woke up this morning, right? The winner, no, the winner you or the loser you. We jumped up. Yeah. The winner me is up. You know, absolutely. You know, like I've been to the gym the other day, and then they just say you want to go back to the gym again the next day. No, I'm hurting. Right? And then I say, oh, who's gonna answer her? I like, yes, Davey, I'm coming to the gym. and I'm working again, right? And I know she's gonna want to go to the gym again tonight. You know? So I say, yeah. But you see, no, but that little quick decision that you make when you think that 20 seconds, the Vietnamese thought process, I tell you, it's an incredible thing to apply into your life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yep, absolutely.
Say you're a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Then you gonna feel like a winner.
I have to tell the story.
Yeah.
So I have to tell the story. It's a really quick story, but it's so funny. Just like Kamda was saying, you know, how we you know, we're amongst ourselves, you know, we're a very competitive family. I don't know if you know that, but, you know, so Nabina, you know, same thing, you know, she's like, you know, I'm going to do this, you know, I'm a winner, blah, blah, blah. She speaks to herself. So her dad picked her up at, I think it was 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock one morning.
Mm-hmm.
She came home, slept, and so she said she's going to go back out with us when we were up. So she woke up and we were gone. So she's like, I was like, she's like, I went to cry. I almost crawled back into bed, ready to cry, because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to go with them. I didn't, you know, I didn't wake up on time. You know, she started, and she said, I jumped out of the bed and I said, no, this is the winner me. You know, no. This is the winner me. Well, you know, she's like, I'm getting up. I'm getting up. So she got up. She got ready. She texted me, Mom, where are you? You know, I was like, oh, we're about to come home. And then she's like, oh, and when we came down, she was all ready and sitting down waiting for us. But she said I had two choices. One, I could have said, oh, they left me and crawled right back in because she was tired. Or she could have got up and said, you know what, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go when my parents are hit back. And so that's exactly what she did. So it's those 20 seconds of decision making that you make that will make all the difference in every single part of your life. You know, it's just, we're faced with those decisions every single day. Those decisions are everything that we do, you know, and whichever one you choose to do is what gets you the results you do. But
awesome. So let's get new people out to the function coming up, and then qualify for Camargo Diamond. One step at a time. All right. Everybody know what they gotta do. Listen to the streaming, both streaming every day, as many times as you can for the next 30 days. Let it imprint in your subconscious. And also the book that Miss Carol done, The Relationomics, is an extremely good book on how to relate with people and build a relationship. What is the thing this business is all about. I would also like each and every one of you to read this book in addition to all the other books that you have, you know. Okay.
The 18th is the last day for the 160 ticket.
Okay, the 18th is the last day for the 160 ticket. I sure she didn't know that, you know.
Yeah, just I'll put it out
done. Okay. Okay, that's it. Back to the host. Thank you, guys.
Woo woo!
I need to look right, guys. All right, thank you so much, Kanta and Nadia, for those nuggets that we will definitely take in and practice each and every day. Teams, get ready for phone team, and we will see you next Sunday.
Yes! Okay. Bye to the bye. We're going to the world. We're going to the world. Yes, yes. Yeah, good travel. Yes, yes. Oh yeah. Bye Rodney. Bye JK. Bye Jean. Hey Alex. Bye Alex. Okay. Yeah, you can stop it.